Hey folks, welcome back to Making a Brewery. It is December 29th, 2025 and I'm back in to do a bit of painting. However, I have a bit of a head scratcher this morning, or this afternoon as it is. Let me switch the camera around and I can show you what the issue is. So what I'm hoping to do, let me actually drag this outside so you can see a little bit better. So this side of the room will be painted red. So I've measured, actually let me go a little bit further out. So I've measured from the end of the office to the wall, and that's 139.5 inches. So the logical thing to do would be to work my way along that wall and 139 inches out from the wall should be where I'm painting. However, I've done my measurements along from the edge of the wall, so it's 139 to there, but as I come along and I mark on the floor like this little mark here, and then I look back up towards the wall, it's actually coming off an angle. So it actually, even though it's 129.5 centimeters, you can see that that is not in a straight line. So there's my latest mark here, and then again as I go up, that's not in a straight line, that's at an angle. So I don't know whether my walls are off, or certainly not my measurements, because I've done it a couple of times and then I've tried it the opposite way. So if I measure from that wall to the edge of the office there, it's 97 inches. But again, as I come down here, 97 inches from, hopefully you can see this, 97 inches. Can you see that? Yeah, 97 is actually further away than what the 139.5 would be from that wall. So it would actually leave me even more of an angle on this line. So bit of a head scratcher. I'm not really sure what to do here, because I do want the area or the line to look straight as you walk in. It's going to look a bit weird if you open the door here and your red area is at an angle further away from the wall here at this end than it is that end. Yeah, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to be here for a long time today. I think I'm going to need to get some form of a laser to mark the line for me, to keep it reasonably straight from the edge of the office. Now, what I think maybe the issue is, when this office was built as well, I don't know if you can see this, but that's at an angle. That doesn't look to me to be in a straight line. Am I going crazy? Possibly. Did I drink too much over Christmas? Yes. Is my brain still foggy? Yes. Yeah, it's going to be a long day, but gladly you're here with me. Right, I just realised that I've done a load of footage there where I've been talking to the camera and I forgot to switch my microphone on. Wonderful. Anyway, you've just seen that footage there. I've got everything marked out. It's not perfect, I don't think. But to the eye, it looks good, and that's good enough for me. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to need to cut in around the walls and other areas. I think with this paint that I'm going to be using, which is, actually hang on, I'll show you now. Leyland heavy duty floor paint tile red. So it's recommended in this that you give it 2 coats, but that you allow overnight drying between coats. Where necessary to ease application, the first coat may be thinned by up to 5% volume of white spirit. So a little bit of white spirit in the first coat, just to make it stick better as an undercoat or as a primer, and then give it the proper coat on Wednesday, I guess, because I don't think I'll be here tomorrow. Maybe, I'm not sure, we'll see. So I'll take a little bit of video footage as I'm going as well of this, just to keep you updated of what an absolute ball ache this is. All right, chat soon. Alright, so that's the cutting in done all the way around. It's a little bit sloppy in places, but you know, it is what it is. Had to kind of splash a good bit of paint into that crack in the floor where the floor was previously cut, it looks like. So I have to just kind of be a little bit sloppy around that and get as much paint into it as possible, just so it would, you know, provide a little bit of a bond there. This side of the floor, I've just kind of painted around the edges there, the cutting in beside the door, and I've noticed the paint is not adhesing. Is that the right word? Yeah, sticking basically, as well as it is over this side. And also, this side of the floor is probably like the barest and the smoothest part of the floor. And I did read online that if you have smooth concrete, you should give it some form of an acid treatment. Now I just assumed that this was, obviously this floor was previously painted grey, and I just assumed that that was the high traffic area and all of that paint had disappeared, but maybe that's because it never got that kind of acid treatment to provide an area that the paint could bond to. So we'll see anyway. That's the cutting in done. Now move on to rolling the rest of the floor and finishing off the first coat, and I'll wrap up for the evening. All right, that's it. First coat done. Took me, I don't know, I didn't actually count how long it took me, but it felt like it took about 2 hours or so, and it was hard work. It's yeah, it's really thick paint, and you really have to drive it into the ground, and it's a little bit back-breaking. But it's done now. That's the first coat on. It does say on the tin, as I showed earlier, to let it dry overnight. So I don't know if that means I can give the second coat tomorrow. I'd like to be able to do it early tomorrow. But what I'll probably do is just pop down, see how it is, see if it's still anyway tacky or wet. If it is, I'll give it another day and then come back and give it the second coat, and then 7 days to cure. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how it looks. It's very bright and vibrant, and hopefully it'll put a good protective layer on the floor, like waterproof, and I believe it's chemical proof and stuff like that as well. So so hopefully it does the job. But yeah, it looks really good, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I'll continue on this video whenever I come back to do the second coat, whether that's tomorrow or on Wednesday. So cheers, see you then. So I'm back in the brewery today, Wednesday the 31st of December, New Year's Eve. I did call back in yesterday with the intention of giving the floor its second coat, but it was still a little bit tacky. And I looked at the instructions online that said it should be between 16 to 24 hours drying time before the second coat. It was a little bit cold yesterday, so I'm guessing that probably delayed the process a little bit. So it took a little bit longer, giving it an extra 24 hours. It is very, very cold today, and I have looked online, and it does advise that you shouldn't really be painting floors at anything below 10 degrees. Now, it's well below 10 degrees at the moment. However, if I was to wait for it to be above 10 degrees, I'll probably be waiting until March or something like that. So that's not really possible. So I'm going to give it the second coat today, and then going to give it the full 7 days to cure. So yeah, let's get it done. Right, that's it. The second coat is on the floor. I'm absolutely cream crackered. So yeah, that's been an eventful year. New Year's Eve, 2025. So, quick recap on the year. I think I bought the brewing system around the 10th of January, 2025. And obviously, if you watch this video series, you'll have seen what the intentions were to initially um, put the brewery on the side of my house in the garage, and all of the stress and worries about three-phase power and all of that crap. So, that was kind of a waste of time and a waste of a good few months trying to get that sorted. And then obviously we moved on to the railway station and perspective potentially moving in there. And again, that wasted a good number of months, which took us up as far as essentially November before we got the keys of this place. And since November 15th, or I think the 12th actually, we got the keys. We've made huge progress in this building. So all of the painting is done, the electrical work is done. Still waiting on the plumber. He's gone MIA. But again, I don't really need him at the moment because I have a water supply there through a hose. So the next step, obviously, as I've mentioned, is getting the equipment down here. But I do want to let the floor cure for a few days first, and then I'll work out how I'm going to get that equipment down. I'm going to potentially have two options: either hire a van, but I'm not sure how I'll get the brown moister up onto the back of a van. I may need to look for a mate of mine who has a flatbed trailer, so still trying to figure out there. But I also need to get down the stainless steel tables and the sink and all of that stuff as well. So yeah, that's the next step in the next few days. But I think you'll all agree. Hopefully, it's been an interesting journey for 2025. I'm really excited about what's ahead in 2026. But yeah, it's been stressful. It's been what's the word I'm looking for? Demotivating throughout the year as well when we couldn't find a premises. So it has been a struggle, and I won't lie. There's been times where I've thought about just giving up on the idea and moving on to something else. But I'm delighted the way things have worked out, and as I said, really really excited for 2026. The ultimate aim, I guess, is to launch hopefully in around March, but like that's out of our hands at the moment. It'll all come back to how fast we can get the licenses. So we've already applied for our manufacturer's license, but haven't heard anything back on that yet still. And over the next few days or so, I'm going to start looking into what other licenses and insurance and stuff like that I'm going to need. Just checked the bank account this morning, and got a little bit of a fright because we're burning through money quite fast. To date, I've spent probably around, since we got this building, probably around 9 grand just on electrical work, getting the drain fitted, buying little bits of equipment here and there. And yeah, it's more than I thought I'd spent. So I need to just keep a tighter rein on some of the spending. You don't see it, like you go to Screwfix and you buy a few tins of paint and other bits and bobs, and you don't see 300 or 400 euro gone. So yeah, need to keep a tighter rein on things and keep an eye on the spending because we don't have an endless supply of money. So we are just totally self-funded. So Yeah, that could be an issue, and I know from speaking to other brewers, cash flow can be a big problem for breweries. So that's something I definitely need to keep an eye on going into 2026. But yeah, it's been a journey. It's been enjoyable. Hopefully you've enjoyed the journey in 2026, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the new year. So as always, if you liked this video, please like on YouTube and subscribe to the channel if you want to be updated on future videos. Happy New Year to you all, and thanks for watching. Cheers.